Hello, Keller Williams. This is Amy Stack. I am the regional tech trainer for the Mid-American region. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about branding in Canva and what's possible for you within the KW Canva accounts. There's a couple things I want to point out before we get too far in here. One, on the left-hand side, you'll see there's an applet called Brand. I want you to go ahead and select that. You'll see it'll take us to our brand templates. So these are the hundreds, probably thousands at this point, of templates that are available to you, already created by KW. Which are great. I love to use them. Makes my life easier. However, I want to talk about your brand today. So up at the top left here, you'll notice there's an option called Brand Kits. And inside here, we've got 3 kits created already at this point in time. We should see some more coming up for different KW options here. But we've got our core brand kit, our luxury, and our commercial. And you'll notice when you click into those, you'll get a suite of KW logos here and our fair housing, equal opportunity logos, our official KW colors, and some of our fonts. Now I'm going to go back to brand kits. Those change a little depending on which brand you're in. If you had a Canva Pro account before, you may have been familiar with this feature, and you'll notice that there's not like a plus sign. There's not a way to add additional brand kits. So what I do want to show you is how you can create your own, because we do have these lovely KW ones put together. You will also see inside projects, you'll have a folder with your market centers logos, and they may have added some additional stuff. In this case, this office has added these MLS and realtor logos. That's now 2 different spots that you have great assets you can pull from. However, if you have your own logo or your own coloring, they won't be found in either of those spots. And maybe you want to keep all of those things in one easy to grab place. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. I'm going to go home and show you something that I've created here. This is my brand page that I created. And you can see I've got lots of logos. I've even got the Canva logo in here. We have the MAR, the Mid-American Region logos. We use this Where Entrepreneurs Thrive logo a lot. So I've got all the things we use regularly right inside that page. I have created that because I don't want to have to go back and forth between different places to find those when I really am ready to use them. So how you can actually put this in action is once you've selected one of those templates that you want to use. Let me get one that's brand new here. I'm going to use this brand template. So I've got a brand new design. You can see it's got the DBA logo. It's all red and black. Okay. Now let's say I have different colors I want to use. If you noticed on mine, I've got the command blue in here. So maybe I wanted to apply that here. Right now, the only way for me to do that is to know what the color code is and manually apply it, or come in here and hope that I can match it. Maybe it's one of these, maybe I can eyeball it and get it pretty close, right? But I want that exact color. Actually, that is pretty close. I'm gonna go back to the red. Okay, so what you can do is come down and hit Add Page. And then I have these saved because I use it all the time. I went ahead and started so I can see different designs. I can go to my projects, and you can see right here is my brand page that I've created. So I'm just going to add that page to this template. So now that I've done that, all of the assets and colors and fonts that are on this page are going to be easily available for me to use in these upper pages. So if you remember before, when I clicked on the red and I went to our color palette here, there was no blue option, and now there is, because this says document colors. As soon as I added this page to the document, that became one of the document colors. So now I don't have to worry about matching it. I know that that's the exact same blue. So that's how you can apply the colors. And you'll notice I have my fonts here. I have Glacial Indifference and Holiday. When I select this, that's Alexandria. So when I select to change my font, you'll also notice a document font section, and Glacial Indifference is listed there. So I can choose that, and I can go ahead and go to the bottom of the page and hit Change All, and it will change everything that was Alexandria to Glacial Indifference, so it all matches. I didn't have to remember the name of the font or type it in to find it. It was just there ready for me to use. And the other thing you can do is copy and paste those logos or little other elements wherever you want them to go in that document. So that's much easier than trying to remember where you save this and continually upload it into that upload section, or flipping between multiple folders to get all the different pieces you need. Okay, so that's how you can use it and why it would be helpful. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. We're going to go to the home screen. I'm going to show you how you can make one of these now. When you're on your home screen, there's that red banner at the top. I want you to find the option that says templates and go ahead and type in their brand. You can see I was looking at them recently. Brand. I want brand board. I don't want brand guide. So we're going to do brand board. So you just pick the board that speaks to you. I believe, I don't see the one I used. That's okay. A lot of them are very similar. And you don't have to worry about the colors or the images matching your brand, because you'll be able to swap all of that out. All right. So pick the one with the layout you like. Maybe you like circles, maybe you like squares. These have nice rounded edges. The one I had was more like this, where it had the sharp corners. So we'll try this guy today. I'm going to go ahead and hit customize this template. And if you remember, I'll pull mine up so we can see it again. I have a light section and a dark section. I have different colors. Now all of these colors are part of my main color, so I can see how everything works together. But I did this on purpose, where there's the white and the dark, and I'll talk to you about that now. So here's our brand guide, our brand board, and it already has some colors in there, and maybe they're not what you want for your branding. What you can do is select the square, come up to your color palette, and if you do want any of the KW options, they're going to be right here. So you can see I'm on the core brand kit. I can toggle between core luxury and commercial here. I'm going to leave the core one on and say, yeah, I actually do want that KW red easily available for me. And just select which colors I want to bring over. Maybe I don't care about black and white because I know that those are easy to find, and I just want to stick with the different grays. And then I want to add one or two of my own colors. So you notice that switched the colors over. It did not change the code. So this is called the hex code. And this is what you might need to give to a designer if you're having somebody create a banner for you, or you're ordering some swag and they want the specific color code. So I do recommend updating those. And how you can find that is select your color, go to your color palette, hit the plus sign, and whatever color you're on will have its own unique hex code here. So I'm just going to copy that. Then I'll select the text in my brand board and paste that color code in. So you can do that for all of them. I'm just going to do a couple right now. Okay. So you would do that all the way through. Now, let's say you have an extra color, like on mine I had the blue, and you wanted to add this extra color. Let's say this is not a color that's going to be in your brand kit. There's a few things you can do to find that extra color. You can select your square, go to your color palette, and you can hit the plus sign here, and you can look through, you can pull this slider and then move this guy, and as you move it around, your colors are going to change. Okay. Oh, I hit the outline. Sorry about that. There we go. So that's one way you can do it. Now let's say you had pulled in some pictures, or you have a logo maybe that has colors in it already, and you don't know what that color code is specifically, but you know that that's a color you want to be using with your brand. I'm going to select this square here. We're going to open that color palette, hit the plus sign, and instead of trying to match it manually, like sliding all of this over, I'm going to try to get this color blue here. right? Like that's hard to try to, that's close, but do I know if it's exactly the same? I don't. So what I want to do is hit this little eyedropper, and I can come and hover over anything on this page. You can see that the color is popping up nice and big as I'm moving. Like I said, I wanted to match it to this blue specifically, so I can select that. And you can see it changed up here. And now that's exactly the same color. And I just got the hex code for it too. So I don't have to guess what it is in the future. I'm just going to paste that in there. Oops, I got an extra hashtag there. And now I know that this blue-gray color is exactly the same as this one, and I have the code for it so I can use it in the future. This one's a little hard for me to read, so I'm just going to change that text to white. So you can do that as well. Oops. To make everything nice and easy for you to read. So it's okay, it's black on these two and it's white on these three. And with that same concept, that is why, I'm going to delete these guys, I have those two sections on mine. Because I may have logos that are hard to see on different color backgrounds. For example, if I move this to the white background, I can only see the red KW. If I move this one down, I've lost the Keller Williams. All I can see is Mid-American region. So I recommend having some different color variations on there for you. So let's say we wanted this to be that dark gray color. You can upload anything you want in here. So you'll want to have your logos and any inspirational pictures ready if you want to drop those in. If you don't want inspo pictures, you can just delete those from there. But you can upload directly from your computer. So here's a Market Center logo I have. This is a perfect example. I wouldn't put this, on the gray because that's going to get kind of lost in there. I can't see the whole logo. But I can see it great on the white, so I'll leave it in that white section. So just pull in all the pieces you need. You could even put your headshot in here. Maybe we don't want it that big. But that's something you're probably going to use a lot. So if you don't want it up by your logos, maybe that's where we get rid of some of these elements down here. So that's one thing you can do for adding pictures in. Then we have our font section. So we've got our colors and our fonts. I showed you how to update the colors. Now, whatever font you want to be using, just go to your font menu, find the font. If you don't know, if you're creating one from scratch, go ahead and just pick one. Maybe we really like this guy here. Again, I'm going to use that change all feature because this is actually underneath there. This will show you what that font looks like in all caps, in all lowercase, and in numbers. So some people actually like to separate that out a little bit further. And I'm just going to go ahead and center that. So now I can see what that font looks like in any character, and then capital or lowercase. And I just need to change the name here. Okay. Oh, they had it set up as this is probably primary. And then we had the name of the font. Okay, and that's in bold as well. So that gives you another look at a different way that font could look. You can see it updated all of my hex code fonts too, so that they all matched. And this was the secondary font. Now on mine, I don't have this directly spelled out. So that's up to you if you want to list it as primary and secondary. Let's say I want to do a nice script font here. I'll come over here. I'm just going to hit handwriting at the top there. Do I like how those look together? Maybe I like Brittany. We'll stick with that. And again, I personally like to have these separated out. And a lot of those handwriting fonts allow you to have them be bolded. So if that's important to you, make sure you test this. See how the bold is grayed out here? There is no bold version of this font. So just play around with those while you are developing your brand if you don't have it set up already. Okay, so I've got my fonts, I've got my headshot, I've got my colors, I've started uploading some images, and then just make sure you name it. Brand guide, brand kit, whatever you want. The other thing I've seen a lot of people do that I think is super helpful is maybe you have a tagline or some text that you use all the time. And I'm just trying to come up with a tagline on the spot. So what's one I've seen recently? Okay. Maybe you say this a lot, your local realtor of choice. Have that in there. Then it's ready to go, nice and easy for you to use instead of having to type it out every single time. You can make it whatever color you want. I just wanted to show how you can have something in each section. So throw all of your pieces in there. I'm going to make this that nice gray color. You can see now my color is right at the top, nice and easy to match for that slate blue. And this can develop over time. If you find yourself using an element over and over, throw it in here. Make it nice and easy for you to find. Like I said, go ahead and save it. And when you come back to your home page, it should be right at the top because it was something you recently used. Let's go ahead and refresh my page here. And you can see here it says brand guide. So the thumbnail hasn't quite updated, but what I would recommend doing is hitting this little star icon. Then it will always show up on the left-hand side here for you. So you can see my MAR brand page is here under recent designs. It's right at the top, but I just added that brand guide. So if I unstar it, you notice it's changed over here too because they're starred and unstarred. So we got brand guide and MAR brand page here. If you've used it recently, it will show up here, but it doesn't always show there if you haven't used it in the last couple of designs you've worked on. But that shows, I'm just going to click it a couple times so you guys can see where that's changing up on the top left. My brand guide is starred, so it's added at the top. It's unstarred, and now it's gone. So quick review. Once you make this brand guide, you can continue to update it as needed. But as soon as you have a design you want to edit, you can open that design, add that third page. So we're going to hit add page. I'm going to go ahead and go to my project section. Here's that favorited design I just did. And there's all my new colors, and they'll be ready to go for me when I hit my color palette. There's that nice bright blue. Same thing with the fonts. I can change that over. It's Glacial Indifference now. Let's change it. Already there, ready to go for me. I don't have to remember what it is or look at another page. And let's say this is my tagline I want to include. I can just copy and paste that now right into my document. So that's my brand guide tip for you. All right, happy branding.